We're gonna make peachy quinoa pudding, which is the most delicious dessert. This is going to change the way that you view dessert because it is sweet, but it's naturally sweet. We're using a grain quinoa, which is a naturally sweet occurring thing in nature. We're gonna use maple syrup, which is again, not a highly processed sweetener. And we're gonna use naturally sweet fruits in it. So let's start. We are gonna start off with 2 cups of cooked quinoa. So I like to, when I make quinoa, have enough so that I can have it for a meal and then make a breakfast pudding or dessert. You can use this as a dessert or as a breakfast pudding. And a breakfast pudding is just a nice way of getting a grain that you have some leftovers and having it in the morning in an appealing way. You can put it together the night before, have it for breakfast, put it in a thermos and take it to work or school. So I've got 2 cups of cooked quinoa that I've put in there. You can put that in cold or warm. Whatever milk you would like to use, you could use rice milk, almond milk. If you're allergic to nuts or don't want to use rice milk, you could use cow's milk or goat's milk, whatever milk you like. I like to use almond milk, and I'm going to do a cup of that. Very creamy. So again, anytime you have sweeteners and you add protein to that, that actually slows down the sugar from going into your bloodstream. Often what you might feel when you eat something like, let's say, a candy bar or a donut is that you'll have a spike in your sugar levels. And what goes up must come down. And unfortunately, when you have highly processed sugar, what happens is you crash pretty quickly. When you have something that is naturally sweet and that has fiber, such as quinoa, what's going to happen, or fruit, what's going to happen is that that's going to enter your bloodstream much slower. And so what you'll have is a steady stream of energy rather than a real high up and a real low. So it's a really nice feeling to have. We're going to go ahead and use some coconut milk, and I'm going to shake that up and then open this. Coconut milk gives a very delicious flavor, even for people who don't sometimes care for coconut. I think a lot of times people are used to having this artificial taste of coconut, and that can be very strong, but coconut milk is lovely. And we're going to do a cup of that. You can sort of see you want a combination of that real liquidy coconut kind of milk and the creamy part as well. We'll do a cup of that, put that into our saucepan, and then we're going to do half a cup of maple syrup. And I will just get my half cup. So maple syrup is still a sweetener, but it's just much less processed than something like table sugar, which has come from a sugar cane and then been stripped of the fiber and a lot of the vitamins and enzymes. So once you actually have sugar, then wow, you can feel the effects. I mean, it's like a very harsh substance to have in your body. So we're going to go ahead and put that maple syrup in. And then we are going to add our peaches. If peaches are in season like they are now, feel free to get them at your grocery store or farmer's market. And I just like to cut around the core. So I do about 4, oh, I'm going a little too close to the core, so I just come out a little more. 4 chunks. And then I'm going to just take that peach and cut it into maybe 3 pieces there, and then little pieces like that. And you might notice that I have some of those peaches already cut up. So I have about two peaches that I'm going to add to this. And that's about 2 peaches. I'd like to keep some for my topping. I'm going to put some cinnamon in, and I'll go ahead and just open the cinnamon. Now, cinnamon is not just delicious, and here we go, a teaspoon of cinnamon. Not just delicious, it also helps with digestion. And then we're going to put some vanilla. And we've just got some vanilla essence. Vanilla comes, I'm not sure if you've seen vanilla, where it comes from, but it comes from a vanilla bean. And it's a long brown, long bean like that. And vanilla essence has been pressed from that. And oh, I love the smell of vanilla. So we're going to do a teaspoon of that. Let's do some fresh lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my lemon. Depending on what you have at home to squeeze your lemon, if you want to use your hand or if you have like a citrus squeezer. This is a lemon press that someone in my family actually brought from Tahiti, and I love it. I'm going to put that into this little measuring cup here so that I can measure out. And I'm going to just squeeze that lemon. Lemon is rich in calcium. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. It's rich in calcium. It's wonderful to just add a little bit of fresh lemon to your water first thing in the morning. That really gets your body cleansed, and again, you have a nice bit of calcium to start your day. And then I'm going to do a pinch of sea salt. And that's it. So easy. I'm going to give that a stir. I'm smelling the cinnamon quite a bit. And then I'm going to take that over to my stove and we're going to cook that. We're going to bring it to a boil and then let it simmer. So I'm going to bring that over to the stove. And I'm going to put my heat onto high and just bring that to a boil. I'm going to cover that. And once that comes to a boil, we will put it on low. Wow, this smells like heaven. I can smell maple syrup and cinnamon, peaches, lemon, all kinds of good stuff. I'm going to turn my heat to low because this has come to a boil. I'm just going to go ahead and open this, and this is just bubbling and just beautiful, real liquidy right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this, and I put it to low, and I'm going to put that on for 15 minutes. And then we will have a lovely, sweet, healthy dessert. So our 15 minutes is over, and our peachy quinoa pudding is, oh my goodness, bubbling. It's brown and with these pretty bursts of orange peachy color. So I am going to go ahead and put that in our pretty parfait glasses. Just gonna fill them up. Let's see. I'll just fill one up like that. I'm gonna put some peach slices on it. You could do this in a pretty bowl. I'm gonna put a raspberry. A raspberry and the raspberry and peach are kind of tart, which balances the sweetness from the maple syrup. And I'm gonna put, this is some fresh mint. Oof, smells so good. And I'm just gonna put a sprig of that in. I'm gonna kind of just let it nestle in there. And this is our peachy quinoa pudding. I've got to taste just a little bit. I'm going to break off a little piece of raspberry, some of that fresh peach, and just even a little bit of that mint I want to taste with it. So I've got the perfect little bite. So creamy, so delicious. The coconut is just a very, very mild flavor in there, very subtle. The peaches are tart. The raspberry, that fresh raspberry on top, just brings a really lovely balance to that maple syrup, that very sweet but not too sweet. And the quinoa in there is fantastic. This is definitely my favorite way of having quinoa. So I encourage you to try this at home. It is easy, delicious. Serve it for dessert. Serve it as a breakfast pudding in the morning. A wonderful way to start your day. And you'll be surprised how lovely that energy you'll have all day long from having something like this. Steady energy. And I encourage you to try it.